Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. What is Bitcoin and the US market going to do today? Let's talk about it. But I do think Bitcoin's about to catch up. And when it does, it'll be explosive. But what does that mean? Catch up to what? Well, I will explain today. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome. We are opening up the day, mixed right now. Not terribly green, not terribly red, kind of mixed. We'll see where the day brings us right now. Coinbase is slightly down, Microstrategy slightly down, Robinhood slightly down, and the Zion Bank is slightly up. So that may be an indication where we're going. Bitcoin is starting out a day a little bit lower than yesterday, 1086. Yesterday we did pop up to about 111-ish. And then last night we went to 107. Now we're coming up a little bit. But interesting, very interesting today is that gold has fallen more and silver is falling. Now, gold last night, started recovering, which is why in my video last night, I said, hey, gold is recovering back up. It does seem like Asia was buying gold. Okay? But maybe now North America's waking up is like, we're going to sell gold. So that looks like a double top right there. Does that mean the bubble has burst, or that is the top for gold? I don't know. I mean, for silver, we've been going down even more. So that is an interesting development. Okay. And we'll have to see how the rest of the day goes. But moving forward, what else? I think the big thing today is, not the big thing, but one of the things, it's still revolving around this trade war between US and China. And it's really, I think the crux of it is really the rare earth minerals, okay, which China produces 90% of it for the world. And it's funny too, because I was just looking at some documentary. The US used to be the biggest producers of rare earth up until I think it was like from the 70s all the way to 2000s, US led, and then China started replicating the process and it just took over. I don't know what year it started taking over, but now it produces like 90% of it. And whatever we're importing is decreasing. And that is alarming for some, because rare earth is so important for so many things that we have in tech and batteries and stuff like that. But the process is really, really difficult process and very bad to the environment. This is one of the reasons why the US backed off. So I think right now the only thing really holding us back in terms of the US market and crypto and everything else is this dispute between China and US. I know Trump wants to settle this as soon as possible. I know China does. There's a lot of back and forth. Supposedly both leaders are going to meet next week. But leading up to it, there could be more settlement ahead of time. And I'm hoping so. And yesterday, US and Australia created some kind of mineral deal. And even China's like, well, you guys should bolster your rare earth supplies, right? It's almost like they're telling us, like, stop relying on us so much. Or they're just doing it to throw a jab. I don't know where the point is, but yeah, that's one of the big things for today. All right. Outside of that, there's also this. I think a lot of people forgot. There's one more bill, crypto bill, that hasn't been passed yet. It's called a Clarity Bill. We had the Genius Bill pass, which is specific to stablecoins, but we also have this Clarity Bill, which gives us a better framework and defines what's a commodity, what's a security, and the crypto exchanges where they should be regulated, CFTC or SEC. That's kind of like the main point of it, but there may be other little stuff that I'm not mentioning. But the funny thing is, even with the government shutdown and even with both sides, trying to figure this thing out, this is so important. It seems like the Republicans are still, or the Senate Republicans at least, or the Senate is still trying to get this passed, which is a good thing. It already passed the House, so this just needs to pass the Senate. And, again, more clarity, just like the bill, is good for crypto. So companies don't have to guess. They don't have to be fearful of regulators coming down on them. And maybe we even get some good regulations out of this so that the market makers and others can't continue to do what they're doing, right? So I just found this to be interesting. Despite having a government shutdown and all of our data and everything not working, they are still pressing forward with this. And it goes to show you how important crypto is to this administration and overall our government right now. So that's good. That's very good. All right, what else? Bitcoin short squeeze incoming. Why is a Bitcoin short squeeze incoming? And in case you're wondering, short squeeze is good because you're driving out the people that are shorting the market. Well, right now, the funding rate is actually negative, which means there are a lot more shorters than longs. Okay, and this is due to what happened 2 weeks ago when we had a $20 billion liquidation event, almost all of it on the long side. So now, because our lack of movement, the shorts are getting confident. The bears are getting confident. And there's so much shorts piled on to Bitcoin right now. Even if we break above 110, we start the short squeeze. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger as we go higher. And, I talk a lot of smack, I guess, about market makers and how they like to clear leverage. The one good thing about them is they're neutral, okay? Which means they don't just flush out the long side, they flush out the short side too. And there's so much more shorts to flush out right now than longs. In fact, 30% was wiped out recently, and there will be a lot more coming. So the short squeeze, that's a lot likely to happen soon than a long squeeze. Let's just put it that way, because there are just so much more shorts out there. Okay, and it could be the reason why yesterday we went to 111. We couldn't go up anymore. Obviously, due to some of the macro and geopolitical stuff going on, but still, and gold rising still. But a lot of it could be all those shorts that are still putting a lot of weight on the market. But when we break through, we could climb right back up to our recent high levels, the 120s, really, really quickly. And you know what? And if this gold bubble pops, that can certainly help. You still have a lot of people that believe that Bitcoin could hit like $200. In this case, Crypto Quant, they have like an analyst that says 195. Okay, close enough. And I honestly still believe that could happen. But there are a lot of very bearish people that say there's no way that this could happen. Because usually these type of people just haven't lived through it. Okay, they haven't lived through how these like parabolic stages for Bitcoin and crypto have been. If they have, they know there's always a chance. We're not talking about Bitcoin going up to like 500,000 in the next 3 months or 2.5 months. No, talking about basically going from our previous high of 125, 126 to 200,000 or close enough. right? That can certainly happen, especially with the short squeeze I'm talking about. There are billions upon billions of shorts waiting to be liquidated. Just that alone could carry us into like the 140s and 150s. And then we get favorable conditions or liquidity coming in from, let's say, the gold side or silver side or ETF side. That alone could push us there very easily. Very, very easily. Okay, so I guess my point is, don't be so fearful. Don't fall for the FUD. It's much easier to fall for a FUD than I guess, hold on to hope or faith, I guess. And I guess that kind of makes sense because we've seen some FUD, a lot of FUD over the years, right? We've seen a lot of manipulation. We've seen a lot of up and downs. But trust me, this cycle, as much FUD as we had and as much, I guess, volatile sessions we had, is nothing compared to previous cycles. 2021, the 2020 to 2021 cycle was way worse. Way worse. 2017 to 2018, way worse. Way worse in terms of the volatility and the FUD and what we had to go through. People still forget some of the big FUD moments that we had, even in 2021. When China kicked out all the miners, the hash rate dropped by more than 50%. Bitcoin dropped by more than 50%. That was mid of the bull run. Imagine falling 50% and then we're still recovering. That's way worse than anything we have seen this cycle. Way, way, way worse. Way worse. But in addition to all this, of course, the fundamentals continue to get better. I mean, I just talked about Vanguard buying a whole bunch of Metaplanet shares. They own a whole bunch. You know, BlackRock obviously is still remaining bullish. You got more ETPs coming up in Europe, like UK, and you still have a lot more buying. You got a board of directors from Strategy that just bought up 2.31 million of their own shares. Well, of course, why wouldn't you? There's still a lot of goodness happening despite the FUD. Anthony Scaramucci said that Bitcoin will reach gold parity. Institutional adoption has barely begun. So he's talking about long term. Eventually, Bitcoin will reach gold's market cap. Okay, we're still far off. Bitcoin needs to go well above $1 million each for that to happen. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. It may happen the next cycle top, or maybe we don't have tops and, you know, it'll just take another 4 or 5 years. But it's going to happen based on Bitcoin's previous history and based on what's happening now. You just put 2 and 2 together. It's going to happen eventually. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But in the meantime, like I've been saying, there's a lot of money into gold, okay? And if this bubble bursts, and it will at some point, doesn't mean that's going to collapse, okay? I'm just saying the top. Just like in the previous time, in 2020, 2021, there was a point where gold got really hot, and then it found a top, and it kind of stabilized and went down. A lot of that money came out and went into Bitcoin. This time around could be even more. Look at this insight from Cointelegraph. Just 3 to 4% of gold rotation into Bitcoin could cause Bitcoin to double from its current price. What? What? That's how much liquidity is in gold right now. Just 3 to 4% could literally double Bitcoin's price right now. Imagine over the next few years, you have 5, 6, 7, 10, 15% rotation out of gold into Bitcoin, what that's going to do, right? So for people that think that, oh, there's no way, there's not enough liquidity for Bitcoin to go to 200,000 by the end of December, think again. Just a little bit from gold itself could do that. And that's not counting the FOMO with the ETFs or the favorable macro conditions like the rate cuts that we will be getting. That's already baked in, basically, or guaranteed, I should say. Yep. Here's something else too. You know, we have seen a lot of charts where Bitcoin follows the M2 money supply, but apparently Bitcoin also follows gold periodically with this movement. And, you know, we know that gold has been doing well, right? But what about Bitcoin? Well, if Bitcoin catches up, then obviously it's going to keep on going. It's going to go to 200,000 and beyond, right? Interesting look. This is projecting that gold will go to what? 4,600, and this is projecting Bitcoin to go to $7 million. I don't know what kind of scale Crypto Rover is using, but I just noticed on this, gold is at 4,600, and then the scale for Bitcoin is at 7 million. Okay, that's not happening anytime soon. Maybe in 20 years or something, that could happen, 30 years, but 7 million ain't happening anytime soon. All right, something else. The VIX is down another 10% today. Usually VIX is measurement of scariness, volatility in the market. And whenever VIX goes up, people do turn to gold, at least traditionally. Okay, this time around is a little bit different. There's also a debasement trade thing going on. But when the VIX goes down, it's good for markets. That's for sure. So that's good. Here's something, shows a trend line for Bitcoin. Again, have we seen this before? Yeah, we have seen many dips before. Many dips along the way. This is no different than before. Really no different than before. Comparing our current movement in the against the last cycle, again, have we seen this before? Yeah, we've seen this before. Does it move exactly the same? No. Not exactly the same, but pretty similar. So stay strong, guys. Stay strong. I know there's a lot of FUD out there. A lot of FUD. It's not over until it's over. October's not over. November isn't over. December isn't over. There's still a lot of time left. Okay, and we know things can change really quickly. All right. As for alts, what's going on with the alts? Altcoin market flashing 2020 style bull signal. According to Crypto Expert, I actually missed what the bull signal was. The MACD turning positive. So basically, charting dominance of altcoins versus Bitcoin, right? And MACD's looking like it wants to flip. Well, if that's the case, no one's going to be complaining. We want alts to come up. Right now, alts is really what's scaring people. Okay? But if the alts get stronger, that's a very positive thing. And I think it will. Especially with ETFs coming soon. We know we will get dozens upon dozens of new ETFs. And we know they will bring in more money. And when FOMO hits, and it always does, that's when things go parabolic. And this time around, investors won't just have to choose between Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. They'll be able to choose like Solana ETFs and XRP and Cardano and AVAX and SUI and everything else, Doge. There'll be so much more for investors to FOMO into. And that's going to be a really, really good thing. Really good thing. All right. What else? I saw this. And I got a different take than I think most people do on this. I saw that Polygon, Sandeep, the co-founder of Polygon, came out. And also Andre Cronin from Sonic Labs that came out. And both have slammed how they have helped Ethereum so much with their coding, with scaling, in Polygon's case, with helping bring out Polymarket, and they're L2. Well, they're kind of L1, L2-ish, but they start out kind of being like L2. And basically, all these guys are questioning why the Ethereum Foundation doesn't help them. Why, when they reach out, they get 0 responses, and then these guys continue to build out and help Ethereum. And it forced Vitalik to respond and say, you know, I really appreciate everything he's done, right? And all this stuff, like Vitalik basically is saying, you know, we do appreciate you. Maybe I don't say it enough. We do appreciate you, okay? But here's my take. Here's my take on this. These guys may be right, okay? They may have contributed a whole bunch to Ethereum, even though Ethereum still can't really scale, but they probably contributed a whole lot that we don't know about. But what do these guys really have to complain about, okay? They came out with these projects, and they made billions from these projects. Polygon is still a multi-billion-dollar project. Sonic, last time I checked, was a multi-billion-dollar project. So it's not like they're living on ramen noodles contributing to Ethereum for the last 4 years, okay? They created projects that made them billions. They became billionaires. And they're crying about not getting enough help from Ethereum Foundation. Tell me I'm wrong, right? Like, I don't quite get where the complaining is coming from. You took someone's platform, Ethereum, and you try to add on top of it. Without Ethereum, both of these projects would not exist. And you create multi-billion-dollar projects, and don't tell me that they didn't take anything. Okay, they have a large share, so they made hundreds of millions or billions, and they're complaining they don't get enough support. I can't feel any sympathy there. So that's my take. And the Ethereum Foundation could be completely wrong and could be not helping these guys. But again, what are these guys complaining about? They made multi-billion-dollar projects. And they made a shitload of money. So don't be complaining. Just be happy that you built something that people like and people use, and you have great communities, okay? And continue to work with Ethereum if you can. That's my take. And then last thing I'll say is this. Australians. Some of you guys are Aussies, and you love your Barbies. You know, it seems like Aussies really like meme coins. Favoring Whiff, Pepe, Bonk, right? These guys will come back. Like I said, if altcoin season starts, it will. It's going to be explosive for many, okay, including memes. And speaking of memes, I'd like to show you guys something. I have this up, all right? And here are the top memes from Solana. So some of these are new. Some of these have been around. You got Popcat. You got Whiff. You got Fartcoin. This is still the stupidest project there is. Peanut, Moodang, Chill Guy, Giga. You got 7 of the most popular memes on Sol. And what's the commonality on all of them? Throughout this last month, while things were down, they all lost holders. They all lost holders, and you can see it's a dramatic loss, just like daily, basically. There's like no increase at all, right? So they're basically, people are losing hope in them. But you know what? Look at the difference of Clash. Look at that difference, okay? Since day one, we've been adding more and more and more and more and more holders. Even right now, when it's bad, we add more and more and more holders. This is the difference between a real community with something of substance versus everything else. I gotta say, they have a community for sure. That's why they have 140,000 or 250,000 holders. Of course, they have a community, but there's really no figure behind them. There's no strong leadership behind them that's pushing forward, and they certainly don't have what we have, which is these prize tournaments that can bond people together and bring more people in and have really good lasting partnerships with even other communities. This is the difference between Clash and everything else. We are such an early project, but we're doing it right. And imagine when the bull market comes back and everything starts flying up, what Clash is going to do. Because if it's doing this during a bad market time, imagine what it's going to do during a good market time. That's all. That's all. Send my piece there. All right. U.S. market is still kind of mixed. Dow is up. NASDAQ is down. Most things are down today, but it could certainly flip around. Gold continues to drop. While I've been talking, it dropped more. Look at that. It dropped below yesterday's point, 41.74. And silver's really tanking today. Silver's down 6%. Down 4%, 6%. You know, gold and silver normally never has this kind of movement. This is what I've been saying. You know, like a 2% move for gold in the past would have been crazy. And now you have like 4% days and 5% days. Should not be happening. That's kind of how you know there's like a bubble situation going on with gold right now. And again, just a little bit of that money from gold comes out and goes into Bitcoin. It could double it. Double it. I'm waiting for that to happen. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Winstead says, why is the crypto market beyond depressing right now? It's not. You just got to change your mindset. You got to change it to, okay, you know what? I'm giving more precious time to DCA before we go up. That's the best way to think about it. You know it's going to happen. Deep down, you're not here if you don't think that way. Deep down, you know we will recover. We will head higher, right? But there's a lot of FUD going on right now. But you know what your heart tells you. You know what your head, not what your heart tells you, what your head tells you. Your heart may be telling you, let's just get out. Let's panic sell. It's going to get worse. But what your head is telling you is like, I've seen this before. This is not something I haven't seen before. And what has happened in the past when I listened to my heart and did something irrational? I lost money. So listen to your head and look at the facts. Have we seen Octobers where it starts out negative and turns positive? Yeah. How many Octobers do we have in a year? Just one. So why don't you guys look at what happened last year and look at what happened the year before that? When did the market start turning around? Mid to late October. So again, have we not seen this story before? No, we have. It's just people choose to ignore it. They rather listen to everyone else that is saying, well, it's so depressing right now, and we're not going to go anywhere, and we're just going to go down and fall to 26,000 like what Andrew Tate says. I mean, I don't know how to change your mind if you truly believe that. Most of my friends have lost interest in crypto due to market maker manipulation. It would take a massive move up to get them interested again. Again, what does that tell you? And we know this. Most people rather FOMO than buy the dip. That's just honestly how it is. Most people like to FOMO. When Bitcoin gets to 124, 125, 126, they're like, oh, I made a mistake. Bitcoin isn't falling to 26,000. And then they'll buy in a little bit. And as Bitcoin goes to 150, they're going to be buying more, saying, oh my God, I don't want to miss 200. But they'd rather do that than buy at 108. I'll tell you that much. They'd rather buy at 150 than 108. That's just how it usually is with people. They want extreme confirmation. They need to be convinced. And the only way to convince them normally is to see the price go up. They don't care about anything else. But I think most of you guys have been in this space long enough to know that, hey, Bitcoin is just not driven by pure faith anymore or pure speculation. There's actually reasons why Bitcoin is doing so well. The fundamentals of Bitcoin can't be ignored. Okay, most of you guys understand that. But most people on the planet do not. They only understand if the price goes up, they need to FOMO. So just don't be one of those people. That's a nasty fall. 6% fall for silver. $54 down to 48. Although 48 is still isn't bad. I mean, honestly, like where did gold start? I mean, where did silver start out? At the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, it started out like down here, like 20 something. So it doubled. Gold doubled this year. The real worry is they were hovering around this point all the way up until May, about 32. If silver just like dumps down back to the 30s, that would be massive loss for anyone that FOMO'd in the last few months, right? And same thing, gold didn't move really until August, about 3,400. If gold dips back all the way down to 3,400, and just a tiny little bit of that goes into Bitcoin, we'll be well above 200,000. Just a tiny little amount. 3 to 4%. That's based on, what was that right here? 3 to 4%. 3% move into Bitcoin brings it up to 188,000. 4% brings it up to 250,000. So we need like 3.5%. 3.5% rotation. Morgan says, when will this crypto winter end? We're not in crypto winter, man. And if you're asking that, then you haven't lived through one. And trust me, it's no fun to live through crypto winter. And it's even less fun when you have to stream throughout crypto winter. And that's even worse. If you had to just hold your bags for a few years, okay. But not only do you hold your bags, but you have to come on here and reassure people that we will come back for like 2.5 years. That's even worse. That's a tough job. I'm not even so sure I'm going to be doing that after this cycle, if I'm being honest. I've been doing this for way too long. Hopefully you guys checked out a new Clash Royale. GeorgePlaysClashRoyale.com website. This is a fancy website. It's a really good looking fancy website. If you want to join Discord, right on top, you want to watch the latest stream like I do at night, it's on here. You want the contract address. You want to know what this project is about. You want to see all the giveaways that's happened. You want to participate in a giveaway. I mean, this number just continues to go up and up and up. The tournament will be here, the treasury, and all the new things that's going to be happening to the project is going to be on here. I have some big ideas for this week that I'm going to be sharing inside Discord. And I think they're all going to be good. I've kind of shared it already, but I want to introduce staking, which a lot of people do like. And then also I want to introduce these tiered system NFTs, which also relate to a lot of previous holders of my I Am George NFTs. So I think a lot of you guys will be into that too. So these are things I'm thinking about. I had to solve the tournament. I came up with new tournament rules because we have way too many like ex-pros or semi-pros or pros that are coming in. So I created a lot more requirements for them for this week. But that also makes it better for the rest of you guys that are just playing for fun casually and you never seem to place in the top 10. It's going to make it a lot more fair and enticing because now there's going to be more prizes for everyone. Roger, what is my daily driver? I drive a Cyber Beast. That's my main go-to car. I have a Wrangler 392 as my secondary car. I can't wait to test that out this winter. See how good it is in the winter with those big knobby tires. And then my fun car is my new Lexus LC500 convertible. And then my weekend car is my Ferrari F8. Those are my cars. Back to 109. We got short squeezes left and right coming after 110. After 110, a lot of short squeezes all the way back up to 120 something, and there are massive amount of shorts waiting to be liquidated. Edwin's asking, have you heard of Silvercoin? Any input on it? No. The input is no. If you want silver, go buy coins, go buy silver ETFs. Don't buy a silver crypto token. Yeah, Paul, it's a F8. My only regret on the F8 is the exhaust. It's just not loud enough. But the car is beautiful. It drives awesome. It's comfortable. You could literally drive that as a daily car. Every time I drive that around, it just feels like a luxury car, which, you know, actually could be bad because if you're driving a Ferrari, you want to feel like it's different, but it actually just feels like a really fast luxury car. I wish the exhaust was louder. I may actually get an aftermarket exhaust at some point, but I just don't have the time to deal with it right now. Silver continues to go down almost 7% today. Gold coming down 4.2%. Not a good day for commodity holders, but it could be a really good day for Bitcoin holders. Clarkin says I'm going to be ordering the 2026 IS350. Congrats. Did they change it or is it still the same? Timo, comments on the Tesla S Plaid. I had one. I had the very first S Plaid. It was nice, but the new ones are even nicer because they have upgraded seats and they upgrade a few things like suspension and stuff. Overall, it's not bad, but it's excessive. If I was to do it again, I don't think I would get a Plaid version. I'd just get the long range, I think, because it's still very fast. The Plaid is ridiculously fast, so fast that it hurts your head when you floor it. So there's absolutely no need for it, in my opinion. I'd rather have just longer range. That's quite honestly what I would do. The S Plaid is faster than it should be, and there's absolutely no need for it. Zero need for it. Gwen says, just started playing Clash Royale today. I'm on a crazy winning spree. Congrats. It won't always be like that. I'm still stuck below 13,000. I was at 14,000 trophies, and then I got reset to 12.5, and recently I've been stuck below 13,000. It's a fun game. When you play it, sometimes you just don't want to stop, and you can play it for like an hour or two. But the bad is, it gets so frustrating sometimes. There are some people that are just, the way they play is just really cheap, or they're just too good, or you always play decks that you're weak against because that's what the algo does. Aldo, thank you. Thank you. Trim Dog, been on Clash for 7 years. I know some people have been on there for 8 or 9 years. The game has been out. The funny thing is, here's the funny thing about Clash. It's been out for 9 years. About 2-3 years ago is when it lost a lot of popularity. So all these ex-pros that I'm referring to, they all left in 2021, 2022. And the thing is, they sold their accounts. And then Supercell did not like that. So Supercell banned their accounts. And I don't know how they know that they sold them. Maybe by IP or something like that. So a lot of these ex-pros now, they don't want to build up their account anymore. They're just using an alternate account. So a lot of these guys are now coming into our tournaments. But they're using an alt account and they don't have any socials because they got rid of them, or they're afraid to talk about how they're on Clash again because they're afraid of getting banned again. So I'm telling these guys, hey, like, you're not contributing to our project. You're using an alt account. You're not sharing about it. You're just coming in trying to win prizes. That's not who we want, especially if you're like an ex-pro. If you're a casual player, you're a new player, whatever, that's different. If you're like an ex-pro, you should have an audience. You're far better than most people, right? You got to contribute. But that's the funny thing I'm learning. Like, because a few years ago, it wasn't popular, so a lot of them got out. But then it became super popular within the last year again because a lot of people started playing it and streaming it. And now all these guys wish they never left. And the funny thing is, all these ex-pros and pros, they're like 20 years old, 21-year-old, 22-year-olds. So when they were pros, they were just like teenagers. And very rarely do I see them actually get themselves involved with crypto. You know, the funny thing about crypto is you would figure the new generation, okay, the kids these days, should be all about crypto. But they're not. It's like, I don't know what it is. You know, people just view investing like such a complicated thing. You know, I'm talking to my kids. I mean, they understand. They hold a lot. But I asked them, hey, does any of your friends, their brothers, sisters, siblings, whatever, talk about crypto and stuff? And then I have family friends, their kids and stuff. Almost no one knows about it or talks about it. I mean, they know about Bitcoin, but they don't ask to invest in it. They don't like want to get involved with it. And that's really, really unfortunate because we all know Web3, crypto, ledger, decentralization, self-custody are going to be a big part of the future. But they're not really getting involved still. It's just really weird. It's really weird. The families, yeah, obviously if they're broke, they don't have fun. But like the families, the parents and stuff need to educate their kids on it. Here's Clashes. Above 30 million. We were a lot higher. I know that. But 30 million, man. You know 30 million is above so many like other memes now. I think we're above cock. Some of these other ones have fallen. I think Chill Guy, we're above Chill Guy now. But I'm not so worried about the price, the market cap. I'm only concentrating on holders, increasing the holders. The loyal holders, the ones that believe in the project and know that I'm here to build something for real, that's what I'm worried about. Not so much the market cap. I know that's going to come back up. When the market improves, when Sol gets back to 240 and beyond, and altcoin season's here, everything's going to go up. It's guaranteed everything will go up. But the ones with the strongest communities, they're the ones that break into the billion-dollar market caps. And I see no reason why Clash can't do that. I mean, just look at the difference between the holders on all these projects versus Clash. Look at how consistent we are. Slow, gradual rise. Everyone else is losing holders. Just look at it. Look at the difference. Ooh, strategy turned green. Looking like it's going to be a green day, guys. 110, coming back up to 111. Remember, after 110 is when you start having a lot of shorts getting liquidated. Yep. We're seeing that rotation right now. This is why you should never fall for FUD. Like, literally. I had a guy in Discord yesterday, right? That was just spreading a whole FUD, whole bunch of FUD the whole day. I could see it. Whole day talking about how things are going to fall, and it's bad, and there's no way Bitcoin's going to go up, and blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm like, okay. He's just trying to spread his own misery around, his own insecurities around, trying to make other people agree with him. And he may have sold. Who knows? But I do know most people much rather FOMO, much rather FOMO on the way up than buy the dips or buy on the way down. That's 100% fact. All right. Well, let's see what the rest of the day brings. In the meantime, let's do some giveaways. Again, if you haven't signed up to the new page, it's in the description. Everything's always in the description, guys. It still boggles my mind when someone's like, where do I find a link to anything? It's in the description of the video. It's been there for years. Years upon years upon years. So is this. And it's also, it's just on the webpage. George plays Clash Royale. I mean, that's really easy to remember, right? That's the project name too. So yeah. So all you have to do is put in your solid wallet address that holds a minimum amount of Clash. That's it. We added another 30 or 40 entries since last night. All right, I'll do 3 this morning. And there's a multiplier if you hold more than a minimum amount. This guy got 1.5. So he has 165,000 Clash. Thank you, whoever you are. You get some soul. And then we'll do another one here. This guy has 7,000 exactly. You win some soul. And then we'll get another one here. This guy has 8,006. Congrats. You win some soul. It's that simple. It's that simple. I'll send these shortly afterwards. I do them at night too, but I normally don't do as much at night. You know what? Just for fun, I'm just going to do one more. All right, let's see if we can have a 4th winner here. 3,124. All right, so 4 winners today. And all you have to do is be a Clash holder. And you're eligible for these giveaways. Basically forever until I stop doing them. And that is it, guys. That is it. Stay strong, my friends. Today, things are looking good. Didn't start out so well, but it's looking a lot better. But not so good for gold and silver. And we just need to add that little rotation into Bitcoin. We're going to see a big jump, huge jump. But in the meantime, I look forward to those short liquidations that are coming up. All right, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one, guys. Take care.